Hello friends, this is Christian Wieser. Today I wanted to discuss with you doing in between the being. Now when you listen to some presentation about enlightenment, then sometimes the story appears that there was a time when we had the me and we're living in a me-centered world, and then there comes that magic day when the breakthrough happens and suddenly a we world appears. We are part of oneness, and in order to be in that world you better listen to the one who is presenting, and hopefully one day you can also get to that state. Now that is one way of looking at the world. I would like to present a different one, and that is that in a sense we are all in the same boat. It's just with awakening we have a different mode of operation. So yes, many of us are born into a me world, an identification with the body, with our life story, with our name. But it is not right to say that there is no being, no spiritual experience. It's just that it's referred to from a me perspective. So the example I would like to give is, let's say we have the full moon, and let's say somebody steps outside and suddenly gets completely mesmerized by the landscape and by the lighting, and just stands there completely in awe. But then after 20 minutes or 20 seconds, depending on how long that experience lasts, the phone comes out and one takes pictures and one shares them on Instagram, and one starts thinking about it. Well, this was so beautiful. I should put it in my calendar next month. I also come here and take even better pictures. So you see the me kind of captures the experience and wants to exploit it. Now with awakening, suddenly a new focal point arrives. We awaken to a magic world, but the me is still around, and often we have the we in front and the me in the background, and then sometimes we are getting triggered and the me takes over, and there the experienced spiritual traveler will suddenly say, hey, wait, something is off here. I'm triggered by my memories, by my fears, by my aspirations. I have to return to my center. And what it means, the center, is that again we have that focal point. We might still have those self-referential thoughts running, but there's always that energy that knows that this isn't it, and those energies are just drifting into nowhere. That is the stage of awakening. Now, what exactly is the spiritual quest? First of all, there's an observation that I've made. I hope I can convince you. I hope you feel it too. That as a matter of fact, the entire meaning of the body-mind world entity, which we often experience as a matrix that kind of keeps us captured, that the entire meaning of that body-mind world is to show us that this is the reference point, the I am moment, the we, and that whenever struggles appear, interferences appear in the body-mind world matrix, suddenly when we feel, hey, the matrix has returned, that in a sense it's an opportunity to center and to regain that focal point. Is there something we can actively do? Well, that gets me to the doing in between the being. In being, there is nothing to think about. There's just a flow of life events. And we let them happen without interfering. When we do, we always do this because there is a notion of scarcity, a notion of something is missing. We feel we need to do something. And the advice I would give regarding the spiritual work that can be done is just observing the positive energies as they knock on our door, as they want to be embraced. Nature comes to mind, a mission that we feel we have to embark on, the friends we surround ourselves, the place to live, the place to work, the partner we choose, etc. And we can be mindful of psychological thought, mindful of the energy blockages that we have, the triggers, the inner conflicts, and the mandate I would put out there is the purity and the honesty. Because when we, in a sense, know what the positive picture looks like, and we suddenly see the interference and us being caught just in between those two, that is a magic moment when actually transformation can happen. The famous, you have to feel it in order to heal it. So that would be really my recommendation, just recognizing the doing in between the being. And the important message I want to send, in contrast to that enlightenment perspectives that you can also embrace, is that with awakening, you in fact have made it. Because the doing is the gateway to the being. You just have to be aware of the doing. And the other conjecture, statement, observation, that the body-mind world matrix is here purely for spiritual purposes, purely to encourage us to be in the awareness state that is always present. So from that perspective, people who are caught in the so-called 3D world, they just have a different mode of operation at that point. They still want something. They still want to have that partner, that job, that school for the children, that bank account, whatever it is that they feel is missing, they go after, and naturally then they will be caught in a being in between the doing state. But then with awakening and with that insight that doing is the obstruction, being is the opportunity, you kind of have made it. Now, what in particular can be done in order to be connected to that I am state, to that we state that I started out with? You perhaps have heard me talk about it before, identify 4 portals just from the acronym SELF, so silence, which is the ability mentally to spot awareness. So that's the silence when the mind grasps itself. That's really the non-duality. The energy is that sensation of that energy that moves through our body, and we can very much be aware of it, and we can very much affect it with our breathing. So for me, often it's a tingling in the around the neck area and moving higher when I just sense that I'm connected. So E for energy, S for stillness, L for love, the heart center. You can literally be connected to the heart center. And as you do, you feel how the energy emanating from the body expands. The expression cold feet comes from the observation that if the mind takes over, that energy field just collapses and it can't reach the legs anymore. That's when we get cold feet. So L for love, and lastly the flow, F, the flow of life. You can, in being, you just see the dominoes falling. There's nothing to do, you just, even the distinction between reaction and response doesn't make any sense. The dominoes are falling and we are with it before the event even takes place. So in other words, we know that we are the screen and we see the life as is drama unfolding in front of our eyes. So 4 portals we can be connected to. So for me, it's about how quickly can we center ourselves, how quickly can we return to that I am moment when we realize that once again, the me is in charge. How quickly can we move that picture? And that's where some people are a little bit ahead of others, but I feel that anybody who already knows that the mode of operation has shifted from doing in between the being rather than being in between the doing has already made it. So I hope that helps. Until next time, bye.